So today I'd like to talk about some use cases of quantum, and especially the use cases where I think there's going to be the largest impact in the long run and already in the short run. And I would like to highlight especially 5 industries. First one is chemicals and pharma. Second one is logistics. Third one is finance. Fourth one is cryptography. And fifth one is retail and sort of tech, big tech. Right? To start with, chemical and pharma. So of course we are interested in designing new materials, right? New drugs, new materials for, let's say, storage of electricity, new catalysts to speed up chemical reactions, and a whole bunch of other materials. However, if we want to do this, this is very, very complex because the materials that we are designing right now, they have thousands of different elements connected to each other in complicated ways. And to do this, we really need a lot of resources. And to simulate how to do this, we need a lot of computing power, which is sometimes even too much. So it's so much that we would not be able to process a simulation of a molecule or a chemical reaction in a human lifetime. And it turns out that quantum computing is very well adapted to simulating such types of problems. So problems in chemistry, problems regarding designing new molecules, problems regarding designing new reaction mechanisms are very well adapted to quantum. And a lot of chemical, a lot of pharma companies are already investing millions of dollars into developing software solutions where they can speed up and improve simulation of designing new molecules, because of course it's a combination of very complex data and very high impact if the program is successful. And I think it's really these two factors that are key in driving adoption of quantum computing in chemicals and in other industries. The second area that I would highlight is logistics. And here it's sort of two parts of the problem. One is large-scale logistics, so something like air transport, something like boat transport, even truck transport. And the second one is internal logistics, so production planning, warehousing planning, and so on. So these are problems that are typically graph-based. So they depend on a large number of stations or a large number of intersections if you're talking about logistics within a city, or a large number of airports, and now you're trying to optimize how the plane travels between this airport. These problems, again, they tend to be very difficult to solve computationally, and at the same time, if we are able to solve them better, then now there is a potential for large financial, economical impact. There's been a lot of development in this area, especially with annealer-based approach. We're able to actually come to within 5 or 10% of classical baselines, which I think is great. And there's a lot of investment, a lot of hype about quantum technologies in logistics, exactly because of this reason, because we've been very successful in designing quantum algorithms in this area. The third area that I would like to highlight is finance. Finance, of course, again, very interesting, high complexity, high potential for economical impact. And what we're talking about here, especially, are two use cases. The first one is pricing of derivatives, and the second one is portfolio optimization. So in both cases, we're talking about either optimization or simulation algorithms. And again, there's a large number of markets that we want to trade. We want to maximize returns versus risk. How do we structure the portfolio, right? Or we want to simulate how the price of a certain financial instrument is going to move going forward. How do we do such type of analytics? And it turns out that simulation methods like quantum Monte Carlo or different optimization methods can be very useful in this aspect. And again, banks are investing a lot of money into such developments. In terms of cryptography, so the fourth area, I would say there's, again, two main components. One is, of course, encrypting data locally. So how to find better passwords, better encodings of data and this type of things. And the second one is how to transfer information between different places. So can we build sort of the quantum internet where you would transfer information from one place on the planet to a different place, which is encoded in a quantum way, and then decode it when it arrives there, making the communication potentially more secure and just overall better. And there's large efforts at the level of continents, at the level of intercontinental efforts, where such quantum networks are being built. And finally, I would like to highlight sort of the retail and big tech applications of quantum, which is sort of a specialization of what I would say quantum machine learning. And why I would specialize a little bit here is because quantum machine learning, of course, can be applied to pretty much any problem that machine learning can be applied to. However, typically machine learning, we can do it very well. So if we want to analyze images, we want to analyze text, we want to analyze tabular data, we are quite well equipped to do this. However, there is a subset of machine learning which is very difficult for us to do. And it has to do again with massive data and data which is structured in a complicated way. And retail is a classical example where we have very complex connections between different data, or for example, applications like Netflix, Spotify, where we sort of have networks. Like me, I'm connected to my friends, but then I'm also connected to some people on a different continent, and then they have their friendship circle. So something like social networks, how to recommend new friends, right? How to do pricing, how to do dynamic pricing, how to recommend new products. Those problems are extremely difficult to do computationally, and it makes a lot of sense to put them on a quantum computer to potentially improve the speed, to improve the accuracy, to improve the performance of such models. So to summarize, I think there's two elements that make quantum computing interesting for a certain industry. The first one is we have massive data with complex structure, which is difficult to analyze. So we want to go beyond classical. It makes sense to go beyond classical. And the second one is, of course, there is large economical impact of quantum, potentially at least. And this, of course, again, it makes sense to do it. Right? And I would say the main 5 industries where this can be identified are, again, chemical and pharma, logistics, finance, cryptography, and retail and big tech.